kind of chemistry. But yeah, Sagittarius.
Sagittarians do that too.
That makes sense. Yeah, Sagittarian. Gosh, it's the only thing in red in here. But this chat.
You know what's funny is that that whole the signs, the astrological signs, kind of went out the window for quite a few years there, and now all of a sudden I'm seeing that back, and I'm saying why.
Well, I think we're seeing a collision and a collusion and a coincision, if you will, a coinciding of all these different. It's about time too. All these religions and prophecies and mythologies. We've spent the last several centuries.
But astrology is okay?
Oh yeah, the last astrology.
That's kind of funny because you cast away all those other things, but astrology is still good.
I don't cast away any of them. What I'm saying is that we've spent the last several centuries looking at these as individual frameworks of thought, which is beneficial to understand the culture and the people and to understand the story. But at the same time, we have not allowed ourselves to compare them, and now they're being compared. And when you compare them, you see the similarities. And
we have compared them. In my lifetime, we have compared them. It's not that it hasn't been compared. Believe me, I've lived through it. I've gone through the whole which sign thing. Years ago, when I was a teenager.
So I was born in '76. So this is
when I was a teenager, probably about 1981. We were going through astrology and that whole thing. So
anyway,
I did want to touch on what Rome said. It scrolled past me, so I can't get back to it. But he said something about, what we do, we learn from, and we become a better person for it.
Right.
The decisions that we make, we have to accept the consequences of them, good or bad. And what I've seen as years have gone by is that, and even these are people older than me, who make a decision and never accept the consequences of those choices that they make. And it's only gotten worse as I've gotten older, that I see people who make choices, and yet, when the consequences of those choices come around, you're like, oh, I didn't do that. Anybody but me.
We don't want to. Nobody wants to take responsibility.
No.
It's a lot easier to blame all these outside influences rather than take responsibility for where we're at in our lives. Yeah.
And also, there's a lot of blame. There's a lot of people who want to blame, my childhood was this, and my mother did this, and my father did that, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to tell you something, I'm not a person without, a childhood that was not a clean childhood.
Like you said, we didn't have perfect lives.
It helped me to become the person I am, and I'm very happy with who I am.
There you go. That's the way it is.
So I don't look at it and say, to blame people is not right, because, people who did you wrong, they also had a contribution to who you are right now. And if you want to sit here and say I'm a victim, which I can't stand anybody saying I'm a victim, and they may not come out with that word, but they want to cast blame. I'm this way because of this person. No. It's how you dealt with the situation. And you must accept responsibility for how you dealt with the situation. I don't care how bad it was. I really don't. I have been through the worst, and I could say, if you want to look at it and blame people, then you're kind of like not taking responsibility for who you are. For who you've become, for why you feel the way you feel and act the way you do. You could just easily say, well, I do this because of that. And so you get away with it. That's not right.
Okay. Yeah. But it's a lot easier to just blame outside influences, especially when you can't see them. Like, whether it be aliens or the devil or Bilderberg or New World Order or Federal Reserve Bank or whatever. You're right. It's a lot easier to blame other people. But we need only look in the mirror. You're absolutely right.
It's absolutely true.
Absolutely true. So I am familiar with the situation here behind I Dare You to Think. I'm aware of his situation at home. I'm aware of some of his financial problems he's going through. Like, he's caught up in the whole thing that everyone else is going through. So I'm kind of familiar with it, but I don't know the specifics behind it. But in anyone's situation, for instance, we played a clip the other day of this guy. Now granted, he's a real spiritual person, and he became kind of like he went into seclusion, for a time, but he lives in like the most war-torn, impoverished country in the world, like right on the border of Pakistan and India or something like that. He's just one of the worst places that you could think of, a lot worse than America. Imagine that. But he finds peace within, and he finds a connection with the world. Even though there's all this chaos going around him, he still feels connected with the world around him. And here, my buddy's asking me, how can I appreciate life when all this stuff is going on in my life? And it's like, I don't know where I'm going to live. I don't know, how I'm going to survive. I don't know what's going to come the next day. And my point is that right now is when you can live. Now is your time to make your decision to be who you want to be. Now is your time to take life into your hands and live it. Now, right now, you have a beautiful wife who loves you. I can tell when she looks in your eyes. And that is a gift in itself. That is a gift greater than most people have. Many people in our society don't have that look from their partner when they get it, from the eye contact and the compassion in the eyes, and somebody who understands you, somebody who is sticking with you during what you're going through. That's a gift. Appreciate that. And most of all, appreciate that beautiful child. That beautiful child is a gift. And that is your gift. That's your gift to the world as well, is your family. Because society starts there and then grows outward. It starts in the family. I agree with Kindled 100% when she says that it's up to us to teach our children how to live, hopefully better than we did and our parents did. That is the whole human drama, and the challenge is in the family. It's right at home. It's society in embryo, and we learn all of our relationships there.
Define better.
Better in terms of better would be more in touch with ourselves and reality.
Okay, you know what I'm hearing too much of? I'm very sorry, but I'm going to be very honest.
It's okay. I know you're real practical, and I'm real out there, so it's a good balance.
I'm brutally honest at times, so I'll say this. When I was younger, I could totally understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, I'm older, and I have to say that where you're coming from is a very selfish place. And you don't want to hear that. You will not accept that.
Okay, go ahead.
You will not acknowledge that, and you will argue that fact. But what I see is, what you're trying to get people to do is really come into their inner self and accept their inner being and all this other, and that will somehow bring about a utopia.
In themselves and in their lives, yes.
And I'm very sorry
Have you tried it?
And you can come back to me in about 10 years.
Have you tried it? I've been living this life for 8 years already. I've been living this life for 8 years already, okay? And I have a wonderful life, and I live my life.